On January 15, 2026, British politics witnessed a highly unusual and dramatic turn of events when Conservative MP Robert Jenrick was publicly sacked and expelled from the Conservative Party hours before he delivered a planned speech in which he would formally switch his allegiance to Reform UK, the rising right-wing challengers led by Nigel Farage. Jenrick, the MP for Newark and former Conservative frontbencher, had not always been synonymous with reform. Once seen as a mainstream Tory and even a contender for the party leadership, his political journey over the past 2 years had been marked by friction with his own party's direction. Sources suggest he had been in extended discussions with Reform UK figures and had increasingly voiced dissatisfaction with Conservative strategy and leadership. In early January 2026, Jenrick was still serving as the Shadow Justice Secretary under Conservative leader Kemi Badenoch. Just days before the climax, he participated fully in party activities, attending meetings and strategy sessions in what appeared to be normal duty. Yet behind the scenes, tensions simmered. According to reporting, a confidential draft of Jenrick's resignation speech, prepared for a future defection announcement, was leaked to senior figures close to Badenoch. That document was said to include sharp criticisms of Conservative leadership and praise for Nigel Farage's vision of British politics. Armed with what she described as clear, irrefutable evidence that Jenrick was plotting to leave, and not merely quietly resign, Badenoch moved swiftly and decisively. On Thursday morning she removed Jenrick from his role as Shadow Justice Secretary, stripped him of the Conservative whip, effectively expelling him from the parliamentary party, suspended his party membership in a broadcast video message. In her announcement, Badenoch emphasized that the decision was made not simply because of speculation about Jenrick's intentions but because he appeared to be preparing to defect, in a way designed to be as damaging as possible to the Conservative Party. The timing was telling. The party chose to act before Jenrick could make his move public, denying him the platform to control the narrative. It was an unusually open and confrontational form of internal party discipline. Later that afternoon, Jenrick stood alongside Nigel Farage at a Reform UK press conference, formally announcing his defection. What had been months of speculation was now undeniable. He was leaving the Conservative fold to join the populist Right Party. In his address, Jenrick criticized both of Britain's major political parties, the Conservatives and Labour, accusing them of having broken Britain and lacking the backbone needed to address fundamental national challenges. He declared his belief that only Reform UK could provide the leadership the country needed. Farage, for his part, welcomed Jenrick's arrival, though with some visible awkwardness. At one point during the press conference there was a noticeable delay before Jenrick arrived, prompting speculation about his preparedness and underscoring the chaotic nature of the day. Reactions from Conservative colleagues were swift and sharp. Many senior Tory MPs described Jenrick as untrustworthy and accused him of opportunism, suggesting his departure was motivated more by personal ambition than principle. Others labeled him a traitor and questioned his loyalty to the party and its voters. Within Reform UK, Jenrick's arrival was celebrated as a symbolic moment, the most high-profile defection yet and a sign of the party's growing appeal among disaffected Conservatives. Farage hinted that more may yet follow, suggesting the movement behind reform was more than a passing phenomenon. Yet even within reform circles there were whispers of doubt. Some commentators and party members questioned whether Jenrick's timing and approach were politically savvy or misjudged, particularly given the media spotlight and perception of him being forced out rather than leaving on his own terms. This episode comes at a fragile moment for the UK's right-of-centre politics. The Conservative Party, still navigating the fallout of recent electoral defeats and leadership challenges, faces internal fractures as figures like Jenrick break away. Meanwhile, Reform UK, once considered a fringe force, appears increasingly capable of drawing prominent MPs into its ranks. Political analysts suggest that these defections, especially a figure as experienced as Jenrick, reflect deeper dissatisfaction within the conventional party structure and a shift towards more populist alternatives. Whether this trend strengthens Reform UK's electoral prospects or simply destabilizes the broader centre-right remains an open question. The ejection and subsequent defection of Robert Jenrick was more than a political squabble. It was a highly choreographed moment that exposed fault lines within the Conservative Party and underscored the growing appeal of Reform UK as a political home for dissatisfied Tories. Whether this upheaval will reshape British politics in the long term is yet to be seen, but the events of January 15, 2026 will be remembered as a dramatic milestone in the evolving story of the UK's right-wing politics.